I realized that I was putting the play button on when my hair looked crazy. So we're gonna curl my hair. This is not a tutorial. I'm just gonna speak, but while I curl my hair, because I got shit to do and places to go and things to do. So yes, I curl my hair or like get ready for the day, even on days that I know I'm gonna be having a hard workout, or even on days when I'm not leaving the house. Because when I don't do that, your girl is not as productive. End of story, right? So, I have this like new short hair thing, right? Like this is new to me, and I'm not mad about it, but it does require like a different level. Look, see, remember last time I had a zit over here, now I have a zit over here. I don't know what's happening on my face, but anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about motivation. Okay, so if you're popping on, say what's up, tell me that you're here, say hello. So being your own motivation, picking out roles that maybe at one point like served you and no longer do, and then, you know, a lot of people are like, I want to get back to blah, 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 X, Y, Z, right? And it's like, no, I don't want to get back to anything. Hey, Ryan, we don't want to get back to anything. We want to bring things that worked for us into the now and be looking forward. You understand the difference? I remember last year, well, I guess now let's think, it was December of 2021. I did Date with Destiny, right? And they say during Date with Destiny, like, things will never be the same. Like, life will never be the same. And it's exceptionally true. And he was talking about how, like, you know, you take 6 days off work. Like, you have to, right? You have to take 6 days off to participate. And he was just talking about how, like, often people are like, you know, got to get back to it. Got to get back to life. Got to get back to whatever. And it's like, that is such a fucked up mindset, because especially when you're constantly evolving and you're constantly taking steps forward, you don't want to get back to anything. And like, that's something that I was talking about with my coach. And I'm like, I used to feel way more enthusiastic than I have in a long time. And so what we did was thought about, and I spent a lot of introspective time thinking about how do I want to say this? Thinking about what things from that point in my world can I recreate in the now to where, but let them fit me now, right? To where I am my own motivation, and it's not like I'm trying to recreate something that happened before, because that's not always the best thing. But we can pull, my coach likes to call it pulling the thread, right? Back from somewhere of something we've experienced before. So like, that's why I believe in anchoring into gratitude, because when you anchor into something, you remember the feeling. And when you remember the feeling, you can pull it back into your current reality. So basically, like, if you remember, you do this all the time, whether you realize it or not, you do this all the time with bad shit, where, you know, our body will go back into this state that it was in the first time it experienced trauma. Like, whatever that trauma is, if you've not healed it, a lot of times your body will have the same physical reaction if something like that shows up again, or it feels that way or whatever. So same concept basically, but we're trying to be more in control of it. So what we want to do is be in control of pulling in things that worked for us in the past and seeing how we can integrate them into the now. So for example, you know, for me, it's the getting up, getting ready, having tripods everywhere, being ready to just go live, because that's what I used to do back in that time frame when I was talking about, you know, the more enthusiastic, you know, Jamie. And, you know, truthfully, if you've been following along, especially if you listen to my podcast, then you know that, I mean, physically, like, my health has been such an overwhelming thing that I had to work around and deal with for so long that it really changed everything. I mean, everything in my life revolved around trying to be physically okay. And so now that I am working, you know, I'm like technically past that, I guess you could say. I talked about this the other day a little bit, but It's really just a whole brand new experience, and I refuse to squander that, right? So when you're your own motivation, I don't want anybody to get so caught up in like, so for example, there was a time, a lot of you have been here long enough. Hey Kyle, what's up, friend? A lot of you have been here long enough to remember I was ripped, y'all. Like, I was super strong physically, and I had built myself quite the little physique. And then I had to stop when I was sick, and for so long I couldn't lift anymore, and blah, blah, blah. And so now I'm back at it, and it's been a funny and strange game, but I'm playing this really interesting navigation where it's like, because side note, times when I would be like, fuck all this, I'm going back, I'm doing it all again. I would go into the gym and I would hit it the way I used to hit it. And it was devastating. Like, meaning it wasn't devastating because I couldn't do it, because I did it just fine, but it was devastating because my body was not in that same space, right? So I think anybody who's ever worked out and then stopped knows what I'm talking about, because there's like this very real thing where you go back and you try to like go ham and hit it like you used to, and then you're like, oh damn, and you can't move for like 3 days or 5 days, and then you don't go back, and it's just a whole thing, right? So that is what I'm not doing, but I had done that before. And so basically I have just been creating this space where I listen to my body. There is a spot where I have to overcome the no, don't do that, and do it just like this, and oh, you're fine. Like, I get in the gym and I'm in a flow and I want to just go hard, and I'm like, we are not there yet. We are not going hard. That is not what we're doing. You will go hard soon enough, okay? Like, calm down. And so you have to start managing things while being able to still be your own motivation, but without trying to do everything exactly the same way that you've done it before. Because you can put this into your business, you can put this into your relationships, you can put this into your health, you can put this into anywhere. The truth of the matter is we are all changing all of the time, evolving or digressing depending on who you are and what you're doing, what you're focusing on, things like that. But like, we are all doing that all of the time. So the version of me that did this type of health workout to get ripped, to get strong. I just want to be able to lift heavy things and feel better. Like, for me, it's just, I'm in so much pain all the time that I'm trying to get that to go away. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. But so with that, like, I can't go back and try to be the same person, because I'm not the same person anymore. And so that's where a lot of people, especially this time of year, they're like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go back to this. It's like, bro, you can't go back to anything, because you have had all of these different experiences. I'm trying to feel where I might have missed hair. Being a girl's hard sometimes, you guys. Anyway, going back, it's just not possible, because you've had so many different experiences between now and then. Like, that's like, you know, the way you built a business in 2015. There are a lot of things that will always work, because business is business and that's just the way it goes. But there are also things that you've changed, that you've tried, that your team has changed, blah, 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 right? And so you want to get better at looking for, how do I take some of those pieces and put them into the now? So like, for me, I have been, and I'm like working on some content for you guys about this, but like, it doesn't really matter what it is. If you work it, it will work. Ignore my zits when I get all close like that. It's the end of, like, most things, we don't give them a chance to actually come to fruition. We don't really work them. Like, we have the idea, we do it a couple times, and then we're like, it didn't work. It's like, bro, that's not how life goes. Like, that is not, you're literally doing yourself a disservice, and it's not fair to yourself, because you're playing this game in your head of what you're not accomplishing when you're really not giving yourself a fair freaking chance for something to work. So for example, this is a good one because I've fallen prey to this before. So you write up a new offer. If you're an online business owner, you write up a new offer, or maybe you are whatever business it is, you make a sale. Like, you're going to do, you know, Kyle, I don't know if you're still on, but like Kyle's going to do some sort of special for pest control for somebody if they sign, you know, a year contract or something like that. You make this special and you're so excited about it. And you talk about it 2 times. And then you write it in your head that sales don't work for you. People don't listen to your promotions. Promotions like that don't work for you. Or a good one is people who have brick and mortars and they're like, oh, I'm going to market on the internet. And they do it 2 or 3 times and they don't, you know, have an explosion of humans inside of their building. And they're like, it doesn't work for me. It's like, yeah, because you didn't give it an opportunity to. And now we could go really deep with this conversation, but because obviously there are times, but you should be tweaking and all of those things along the way. But if you don't commit to something and give it an opportunity consistently, long term to function for you and to work, it's not going to. Like, that's not realistic. It's not how the world works. Like, if you want something to work, you've got to work it. One of the easiest ways, the easiest things that's an example of this is in health and fitness, just because a lot of times we can physically see or feel the difference. So it's an easier, you know, example to talk about, but this is true with anything. If you want to be a better writer and you write consistently for 2 weeks and that's it, you then tell yourself a story in your head that you're not a good writer. And it's like, bro, how do you know? Like, you're making this shit up, right? Like, that's not even real. That's not even real data. It's not even based off of anything real. So we set ourselves up to be in this loop-de-loop, y'all. And it's just like, why do we do this? So I don't even know if that was the real reason why I got on here today, but that's where the conversation went. So how do you deal? If you're still live here, will you hit a button or something and let me know that you're here? Or if you're watching the replay, now is the time to put a comment in or a question or hit the like button. Because how do you do this, right? So how do you pull things to be your own motivator? How do you do it? Well, or how do you give things a chance to work for you? That's really the question, I think. And I believe it really comes down to the fact that you have got to accept that instant gratification does not exist in most of these places, y'all. It is a fake story that someone has tried to feed you. It is fake news that people are making money off of all day, every day. That's why, like, with my coaching business specifically, it's so much different than most people's, because I refuse to claim that I'm going to make a massive change in your life in 30 days. And it's going to last. I will make a massive change in your life if we work together privately fairly quickly, if you're willing to, commit and play ball with me. But like, consistently, and will that last forever and change your entire outcome? Probably not. That's why I only work with people in long-term contracts, because I know what works and I want lasting change for my clients. I'm not here to waste nobody's time, myself included, right? So it's just, what we have to recognize, there is no instant gratification. That is why I organize things. We're just going to keep talking if you're here for it. But that is why I organize things. I organize things because it satisfies my need for gratification and for control and for like tidiness. It satisfies that. So what you gotta do is learn how to play games with yourself, dude. Like, how do I fulfill this need? So some people, it's like caretaking, right? Like they wanna give more than they have to give to everybody and then hurt themselves, right? So you gotta play games with yourself. Like, how do you scratch that itch without letting it take over your whole life and ruin you? You know what I mean? So for me, like, it used to be that controlling tendencies was a scary, tricky thing for me. I had to work through that. And so I found things that kept me fulfilling that outside of on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, which is tends to be what we do. If we're not getting, look at these crazy curls, y'all. If we're not getting instant gratification, which rarely exists, then we move on to the next thing. And it's like, bro, that is not how it works, okay? And so if that's something that you know you need or cling to or look for or is satisfying to you, then create it in other ways. Like I said, for me, it's organizing things. Like I'll take everything out of the closet and sort it and organize it and put it back in all pretty and perfect. And that satisfies the gratification need that I have. It also satisfies my need to control things sometimes. So then guess what? No one else, I'm not bleeding all over anybody else about what I need in those aspects because I'm satisfying and scratching that itch myself. Does that make sense? Does this make sense, friends? Short hair is like a whole different game than what I'm used to. I'm still getting used to it. Yeah, so take that, put it in wherever and see how it works for you. Because truth be told, you have to be your own motivator. No one else is going to do it for you. Like it's cute to think they will, but you don't want to try to go back, to circle back around to what I said at the very beginning. It's not, I want to go back to this. It's like, I want to see how I can recreate parts of that in my now with who I am now. How do I pull from those things that I felt there and bring them in? So that's really the focus point. That's my suggestion. So I am going to go. I have to go to the gym. I have things to do, and I will be here with you all again tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments or need help with anything, please let me know. Comment below. As always, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you believe anyone else could benefit from it, please hit that little share button. And let's get the messages in front of more people so we can raise the overall vibration of the world and all of the things. So go out into the world, be a good human. I love you. I'll see you later.